Good day and welcome to Islandstats Sports. I'm Earl Baston, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. Lloyd Frey, president of the Bermuda Cricket Board, strongly condemned an inaccurate, misleading, and damaging report on ZBM News featuring Herbie Bascom commenting on the recent process of hiring the national senior coach. Frey, in his statement, is quoted as saying, "I am greatly disappointed that ZBM, who have usually proven to be a reliable reporter of cricket, did not make any attempt to contact the Bermuda Cricket Board to verify these outrageous allegations." He goes on to say, "I and my fellow executives at the Bermuda Cricket Board are greatly upset at the false and deceptive claims by Mr. Bascom about the hiring process recently aired on ZBM News. The Bermuda Cricket Board and its members pride itself on its integrity, and to be subjected to false claims of discrimination is a grave matter. The members of the selection panel are highly qualified in both the human resources and cricket coaching fields, and they were highly commended by the executive on their thorough and transparent process. I am disgusted by Mr. Bascom's claims of discrimination, which are completely false and are slanderous to the board and the executive officers. To assist our stakeholders in understanding the true picture related to Mr. Bascom, Mr. Frey reveals the following. On October 12th at 6 p.m., Mr. Bascom was interviewed by the panel, but many of his answers did not relate to the questions asked. At the end of the interview, Mr. Bascom was requested to provide a coaching philosophy by October 23rd, which Mr. Bascom failed to do so. On Friday, October 16th, an email was sent to Mr. Bascom informing him that he would be required to complete a practical assessment on October 31st, and he was asked to reply to confirm receipt of the email. When no receipt was received, the panel member called Mr. Bascom's cell phone to get confirmation, but was not able to leave a message as his mailbox was full. To ensure that Mr. Bascom had received the message, a member of the office staff WhatsApped message Mr. Bascom's son to ask Mr. Bascom to check his emails. On October 21st, Mr. Bascom was notified that his practical assessment would take place on Saturday, October 31st at 9 a.m. In that email, he was asked to submit his training plan before Wednesday, October 28th at 5 p.m. Mr. Bascom did not submit his training plan by the requested date. On October 31st, the panel arrived at Flats Field at 8:45 a.m. for the practical assessment. At 9:30, the panel members sent the players home, and Mr. Bascom arrived approximately 10 a.m., which was an hour late. At 11:28 a.m., a panel member sent an email to Mr. Bascom informing him that the panel had agreed to give him another opportunity and submit his missing documents by November 2nd at 5 p.m. At 11:56 a.m., Mr. Bascom replied to the email thanking them for the additional consideration. At 12:14 p.m., Mr. Bascom sent an email apologizing for his mistake of the misunderstanding and negligence in not submitting his report on time. On November 5th at 9:09 a.m., a panel member emailed Mr. Bascom informing him that his assessment will take place on November 7th at 2 p.m. and not to arrive any earlier than 1:45. As Mr. Bascom had confirmed by noon on Friday, November 6th, the panel member followed up with an email to him and a phone call asking for confirmation for the session. Shortly after the follow-up, Mr. Bascom called back to confirm he had received the messages. At 2 p.m. on November 7th, Mr. Bascom had not arrived for his session, so the panel members dismissed the players who had been there since 9 a.m. At 2:07, Mr. Bascom arrived and was told that he would not be permitted to conduct his session as he was late. Mr. Bascom then became very belligerent and insulting to the panel members and the process." End quote. Kenny Lejour, Alex Withers-Clark, and Finn Watson were crowned divisional champions as the 2015 Aon Benfield Fecchio Cup came to an end at the Port Royal Golf Course. 11-year-old Lejour began the day in the championship division with a 5-stroke lead over Dakota Lamb. When he walked off the course, he had opened a 6-stroke lead, thus lifting the trophy. Lejour shot a round of 82, finishing with a score of 251. Lamb finished at 257 after a round of 83 on the final day, and Samson Douglas shot a 3-day total of 293. The 12-hole Red T Division final round began with Joe Watson and Alex Withers Clark tied on 129. Ryan Clements was one behind. Withers Clark shot a final round 62 to finish with a 3-day combined 36-hole score of 191. Watson shot 64 to finish 2 strokes back, and third was Kyan Mooney, who shot the lowest round of the day of 60. In the novice division, Watson shot a round of 38 to finish 1 shot ahead of Callum Pearce, who finished at 127 after his round of 36. Eliza Withers Clark shot a final round 48 to finish at 137 in third place. Following the sponsorship handed out, Islandstats asked both Tyrone Smith and Harold Trey Houston to make comments. Smith is quoted as saying, "Training as an Olympic athlete is not a life that comes with a lot of massive endorsement deals for the vast majority of people. The costs associated with making it to the games can be high. Coaching fees, travel, nutrition, physical therapy. These are just a few things that cost that an athlete has to cover. Finding sponsors to help us along can be difficult, but those sponsors like Dr. Brown and the BHCS are appreciated to a level that big-time athletes will never understand. Dr. Brown is not just an amazing benefactor, but he is an integral part of my team preparing me for Rio. Bermuda Healthcare Services is like a family. They have been supporting me for the years leading up to the Olympics, helping to make sure I have everything I need in order to be successful. We exchange emails on a regular basis, and they are always filled with positive messages and motivations to help me to keep my eye on the prize. Their support to me is priceless. Simply saying thank you will never be enough." End quote. Houston is quoted as saying, "First, I would like to thank Dr. Brown and his establishment for sponsoring me during my journey to Rio. I plan to use the money to assist me with coaching fees, therapeutic treatment, and anything necessary for me to reach my upcoming goals. This season, I will excel, stay injury-free, and do everything it takes to make the Olympic finals. Once again, I appreciate the support and looking forward to making my country proud." The Bermuda Football Association has announced the Premier Development League Festival semifinals. The semifinals will take place at the Bernard Park on Monday, December 28th. That's 2 days after the facility hosts the Shield and Friendship semifinals. In the 12:30 p.m. kickoff, the PHC Zebras will take on the Devonshire Cougars, and then at 3 p.m., BAA will battle Dennytown Hornets. Both the PHC Zebras and BAA will find themselves in difficult positions with players that have featured in their first teams and their PDL teams, as they have semifinal matches scheduled for Sunday, December 27th in the Shield and Friendship. Malaysia's National Sailing Center will be awash with more than 430 sailors from across 80 nations, including Bermuda pair Cece and Mikey Woolman, who are taking part in the Youth Sailing World Championships. Sailors have registered to sail across 9 fleets in just a matter of days. 2015 is proven to be a record breaker as well, with more sailors and countries than ever before. The previous record was 67, set last year in Portugal, and it has easily been surpassed with new and returning nations making the trip. Patrick Nisbet concluded competing in the CSI 2 Rosal International Horse Jumping event in Holland. Nisbet competed in only one event on the final day. He and Quick Z finished 31st, competing in the CSI 2 Grand Prix Table A against the clock class at a height of 1.45 meters, and they recorded 5 penalty fault points. Thank you for joining. I'm Earl Baston with Islandstats Sports. Merry Christmas, everyone.